I'm Harold Morgan. Navajo, my clans are Black Sheep, born for Tsenjikina Honeycomb Rock, and my father's paternal grandfather is water coming together Toiketlini. My mother's side is Kapai, edge of the water, and that's my clan.
Harold's most important role model was his father.
He raised me with the teaching of, I would say, strictness, using the belt or the stick. He's spanked me, whipped me, and in all, I later found out that it was for him to say to me that he wanted me to be grown up as a good young man with the principles of the Navajo man, father, in a home. I didn't know that. Now it comes back to me that this is the reason why there's strictness in the house. Yeah. He didn't tell me anything that he's passing. Nothing. My mother said nothing too. She just said that after he passed on this, you can have this red-tailed hawk feather. Your father used to have that, and he did ceremonies with it, and so you can have it. She said to me, my mother. So I carry that. Today I have it. That's the way I feel about it, and I don't want to lend it out or think that it's just not another feather. It's something's there that when I say that I don't understand it, but who understands? I think that it's who understands the holy people.
During his childhood, Harold was taught the importance of planting.
I was told by my parents was don't let a year go by. I remember this area used to be always all plowed up, and he used to do that by horse and handheld plow. One plow, two horses pulling the plow. I used to see him holding one of the rings in his mouth. He'd be going down like this, and he would get after us a lot. But sometimes we'd be following him, walking and putting the corn in, planting like that. And we used to plant potatoes, squash, corn, blue corn, white corn, yellow corn, cabbage, turnips, some of those vegetables that I kind of think that we were raised on.
Sports played a large role during Harold's years in high school.
When I was a little boy, I remember that my dad used to tell me to run. And I used to run from Sawmill to the house. He would say, take off your shoes and run. I used to carry my shoes and run. Basketball in the winter wasn't so bad. I like to shoot from the corner because usually I hardly miss from there. Run down the court, and then instead of running, I make a jump shot from there.
Whenever we get together, he always stressed about being active and staying fit. He never likes us to sit on the couch. He calls the TV the idiot box, and he doesn't like us like sitting around. And like I remember like just thinking to myself, every time I played, like, well, I should try my hardest and should always do this and work hard. And I was the captain of my volleyball team for the second year, and it was my second year in varsity, so I just figured I always put my heart into everything. And he taught me to be a leader from just the way he acts.
I got hurt in a football game. My knee got torn up, and I was on crutches for about 3 months, and through the winter. So I dream about it sometimes. I wanted to go back in on that last few minutes after I got hurt. I couldn't stand up on the field. So I was pretending that I wasn't hurt, so I was crawling back to my position. I crawl on my hands and knees like that, and by my knees it's in pain, and I try to pretend that but they saw me, so they told me to get out. So when I walked out, I tried to run. I just pretend to that there wasn't anything wrong with me. So I tried to lift up my knees like that and run, but it was just getting worse. So I got out, and then they told me how everything was. I said, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." I said, "Okay, yeah, okay. Rest up for a while. We'll get you back in there." So they said, "Keep yourself warm." So I was running back and forth alongside the field, and I tried to keep up. It just got worse. It just got worse, and as I guess it began to get cold, my knee began to get colder and colder, and just got worse, the pains. And I didn't get to go back on the field.
Harold describes how he started to work for the Navajo Nation Tribal Council.
I and my family, my wife, and we used to try to get by. We were getting unemployment, general assistance from the tribe. We were getting food stamps, and we were selling at the flea markets for 2 years. And my kids were pretty well all in the elementary, middle school, and high school, I think it was. So that's what we went through until one day that another chairman or president came into the tribe by election, and his name was Peterson Zaw. He won the election, and there's another person by the name of Chiliazi. They were in office, in the president's office, and Jack Jackson. And somehow they picked me to work for legislative. As time went on, I guess this sacrament that I have was given to me by my father, hand trembling. When I came in here and I start talking about the murals, it seemed to connect like this. It just began to get more clearer, more meaningful of what the government, the murals, the history of what, the way, the teaching, the culture, the tradition, what people were beginning, were I hear now and then they talk about. And it was in here. It was all here. I didn't really know it. Before this, how to do that, how to do sand painting, how to grind corn, the purpose. After that, this thing came on like that. It's being taught. This is how you're going to do the sand painting. This is how you're going to do the corn grinding for the purpose of the natural way, living from earth, Mother Earth, because that's how we were taught. This is how the Spirit teaches. This is all natural. That's the teaching.
Harold served in the community for many years in many roles.
The Sawmill chapter, been secretary treasurer for the chapter, vice president for the chapter, on the school board for Winslow, for Wingate, Indian Education Committee for Winter Rock. But now I'm not on any committees. This is my job. Sawmill chapter is calling me back. They want me to run for office next year.
Harold talks about what the government means to him.
The government that we built, is for us to feel good, live comfortably, live to where that we can speak good, express ourselves. Freedom. What is known as freedom. I think that's the government. If we don't have that, somebody says, you only speak the way I want you to talk. That, I think, is what is called a dictator. That is wrong. What else can we be doing? What other activity? I just say, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming across from the east and taking away our land. Thank you. I got toes from you. I got some education. I got a vehicle outside from you guys. And you should be thanking yourself too. So it's nice to have this building. It's nice to have the painting, the doors and everything, the lights. You miss those things. We're here and we're talking like this because it was possible for us to be living together. It's what I say. Nice to be neighbors. We can't say as natives condemn the non-Indian. Government is supposed to be for goodness, betterment of life. That's the way I feel about it. So that's the way I feel about it, because even the Constitution of the United States says one nation under God. It's under God. I guess that means that God is over us. Spiritual world is over us, and we're right underneath it.
Harold describes his unique haircut.
I just thought one day I'll do that then. Somebody said that you would look good. You would look good. And I've heard people say that, come in here and say, it takes a lot of courage, I think, for you to have a haircut like that. But you look good. For some reason, you mix it. They say, to me, it looks like it's only for you that would make it look good.
Yeah, he kind of encouraged me to get a mohawk. Not like verbally, but like just him having one made me want one even more.
Harold talks about his role of ringing the bell before tribal council meetings.
This bell here is an original locomotive, steam locomotive bell of the railroad system, the Santa Fe Railroad, I believe is what they used to call it. It has a date on here, presented to the Navajo Tribal Council by the Santa Fe Railway Company, November 1956. For the Tribal Council at that time to be given out notice that a meeting of the council will be starting, and they had that siren on top of the rock way up there. We used to hear the siren at 12 noon, 12 p.m. You know, that was their notification that it was noontime, you know. While us right here, ours is the bell for the meeting, you know. And so anyway, that's when I ring the bell. I made it myself, my idea that I would ring it 21 times, much like the idea of the 21 gun salute. And then the bell, when around 10:30, I would make that decision as to how many delegates we had. When it was 88, if it was coming around 40, to make it 45 once we hit one over halfway, and we're counting. I'm counting maybe at 40, and so I ring the bell, or I go by time. So I make that whichever way, you know. 10:40 is kind of late. 10:30 is not bad. 10:20, 10:15. You know, and then sometimes it's important. It depends on the agenda that the council has. If I think that the agenda is kind of long and it's going to take a whole day, and then much of it will go tomorrow or the rest of the week, I would, you know, like to start as early as we can. So that's when I ring the bell, you know. You know, something like saying that, hey, come on, man, let's get started here. It's in the morning. I mean, you know, if we wait anymore, we're going to lose part of the day again. You know, let's get going, you know. So that's how I ring the bell. So anyway, here I go. I'm going to ring it twice. Okay. You just have to be your own self. So you live the life that you have, like the way you are, the way you are, the way you present yourself to the world. That's the way I think about it.